When I was a kid, there was a very simple question that sort of scared me in a way, and it scared me in a way on a nightly basis. The question was, what is sleep? You weren't awake, you weren't conscious, but you weren't dead, you weren't gone, you were just sort of somewhere in the middle, right? You weren't responsive to anything. You were in a completely different world. When you close your eyes, you can imagine things, but it's nowhere near as vivid as when you are dreaming. Along those same lines, I kind of have a question that is about existing in some place that is perhaps neither here nor there. What is the difference between isolation and the subconscious? Being alone, are you in your subconscious? If not, why not? Are you in some state of almost basically social sleep? You are neither being social, you're alone, nor are you in your subconscious, because that's a dark and scary place. You're just existing in some other world. No one knows you're there, but you are. Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear in 3 separate playlists here on the channel. Number 1 being the poetry discussion playlist, now approaching 800 videos strong. Number 2 being the Robert Frost playlist here on the channel, a playlist dedicated to Robert Frost. And number 3 being Dark Academia, a playlist of videos exploring the themes of dark academia. And obviously, Robert Frost oftentimes fits into the ideals of dark academia. The poem in question today is Come In by Robert Frost, and it reads as such. As I came to the edge of the woods, thrush music, hark. Now, if it was dusk outside, inside it was dark. Too dark in the woods for a bird by sleight of wing to better its perch for the night, though it still could sing. The last of the light of the sun that had died in the west still lived for one song more in a thrush's breast. Far in the pillared dark, thrush music went almost like a call to come in to the dark and lament. But no, I was out for stars. I would not come in. I meant not even if asked, and I hadn't been. So our speaker here is alone, is out in the dying day, and there's a thrush calling to him from the darkness of the tree line. In the woods, there is a thrush calling him. So it seems our speaker here is alone, but not in the subconscious. So the subconscious is often represented by woods. The dark and mysterious woods represent those dark and mysterious things in your mind. Those things you do not control, those things that you wish not to get lost among. Now, in this poem, the speaker alone is sort of not in the subconscious, but not being social. Why would you be alone but not in your subconscious? Is there too much shadow running around down there? Well, here's something that I want to talk about for a moment. What is dark academia? Dark academia is an aesthetic and literary movement that romanticizes intellectual pursuit, classical study, and the melancholic beauty of old academic settings. Now, this I don't really care about. This I don't really care about. I don't care about what something looks like. It blends the visual world of ivy-covered campuses, candlelit libraries, and vintage fashion with themes of moral ambiguity, existential inquiry, and the passage of time, influenced by Gothic fiction, romantic poetry, and classical philosophy. It often explores the tension between knowledge and obsession, beauty and decay, life and death. In literature and film, it thrives on intimate friendships, secret societies, and tragic ambition, portraying learning as both a transcendent and perilous as both transcendent and perilous, a pursuit shadowed by the inevitability of mortality. Now, they mentioned Gothic there. What does a thrush represent? Liminality in a Gothic sense, one of the ways that thrushes are used in symbolism. Appearing at dusk or in lonely places, a thrush can also signal threshold moments, standing between light and dark, life and death. Our speaker here is in a struggle with that bird. Now, here's the funny thing about this poem. If we are willing to accept it as an exploration, a flirtation, with the subconscious. If that's the subconscious, right? Our speaker is alone flirting with his own subconscious. Should I go down and visit the shadow? Should I spend some time with the monster? Is that what I should do here? If that is what is going on in this poem, not only are the woods a construct of his own mind, so too is that thrush. So here we have our speaker's subconscious calling to him, begging him, come in, come play with the shadows. And he is saying, no, but he is still walking along the tree line. He is still flirting with the woods. He knows what's going on there. He knows where he's at. He's tempting the subconscious. Is this a threshold moment? Is this our speaker saying, I'm just going to go down. I'm just going to look. I'm going to look at the woods. I'm going to spend some time walking. I'm just going to look at that subconscious down there. I don't have to delve into it. I don't have to have anything to really do with it. I don't have to do any of that. I'm not going to. I'm going to go down there and let that bird call to me, just so I know my subconscious still wants me. I think that this is a very dark academic poem because what we are looking at is an individual who is purposely, and I would argue purposefully, alone. The idea of wrestling with the shadow, the idea of delving into the subconscious is something that I don't think you really get to do and be quote unquote civilized. And I don't mean that in the real definition of the word. I mean that in the way that people are nice or they are kind. You know the difference between nice and kind? You have something in your teeth. A nice person won't tell you because a nice person wants you to feel good and wants to feel good themselves. A kind person says, hey, get that crap out of your teeth so you don't look like an idiot in this job interview. That's what a kind person does. To be civilized is to tame the wilderness, to make civilization. Otherwise, you're not civilized, you're just soft, right? So I think that what this is our speaker going down to the tree lines to toy with the idea. Do I give in? Do I delve into the darkness? I think that darkness is the darkness of dark academia. the subconscious, forcing you to want to transform, forcing you to want to be something more, something different, to pursue these intellectual pursuits, to pursue these intellectual practices, such that you may become more than you are. Guys, that's wrestling with the subconscious. That's dancing with the shadows. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel. There are now a couple of playlists and a video on the screen that YouTube and our AI overlords think you might enjoy. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.